Welcome. I'm here today with Jim Blanch from Litmus. We're going to talk about something that is really, really exciting, which I think this is where when we talk about data, the data that different businesses use and the role that this data travel on network for different type of businesses. So help us a little bit talk about here. What does your platform do and how should we think about data these days?
Yeah, the main way to think about data is it's truly an asset. Companies are starting to realize that automation, modern technology, all of these things are fantastic and you can utilize them. But the true value that is in all of those assets and all of that industrial landscape is that data is a real asset. Once you're able to manage that asset and you actually manage that data, you're starting to see some really revenue impactful information come out of it. Many of our customers are data rich, but information poor, and that's where we come in.
So what's the difference between data rich and information poor?
Data rich is you've got a ton of assets on your floor. You've got great, modern technology. You've got robotic arms, you've got sensors, you've got temperature, you've got vibration sensors. So your manufacturing is covered by all these incredible assets. The one challenge that's been around since as long as we've had manufacturing, it still happens today and many of our modern customers, is that all that data is actually siloed. You can't see all of it put together. Let's say you want to see an entire line in one data structure. That doesn't exist with the assets that they are today. They all have their own separate software. They have their own separate communication protocols. So what we do at Litmus is we unlock the data, we activate that data, and then we scale that data.
But in order to make it meaningful for all of that data, you need to move it around some way. And how do you typically, what are the different ways you've seen that data can move around in a factory as an example?
As an example, yeah, so unlocking that data, being able to connect to it, Litmus is actually deployed as a virtual machine in the operational network, or it's deployed on the floor on a gateway computer as a Linux OS system. Or we can actually deploy it inside maybe an orchestration piece that already sees a lot of their assets in there. Again, the way to put that data together is to truly unlock it. And we do that by having more native drivers built into our platform than anyone else in the industry. Those native drivers connect to each and every one of those assets. And then from those assets, we can actually activate that data. So we're able to pull it, add context to it, and metadata, which is a very, very unique value proposition in Industry 4.0 today.
And so what role does a private 5G network play in all of this puzzle?
It works out really well because what Litmus does as a deployed piece of software in the customer's network, you now have a customer that wants to have their network contained. So what is a network's purpose? The purpose of a network is to actually move data from one place to another. Now you've got a network that can do it with very, very low latency, exceptional speed, and Litmus lives inside that network as well. We don't live outside the network. We don't live outside the customer's network. We deploy inside of it. So that marriage of those two options for a scalable enterprise deployment, somewhere like with our customer with like JLR, Jaguar Land Rover, it's a true value proposition for them because the data is in their network is secure, and all of that data can move very, very efficiently within it.
So how do we typically collaborate between our two companies when it comes to these kind of solutions and bringing it forward?
Yeah, so with Ericsson, we look at enterprise options. We look at customers that require this type of service. So we have a number of customers that are large enterprise type deployments. So multiple sites. We're not talking one or two sites. A company that has many, many different sites. And so they have the same challenge. They have the same data challenge across industry. So we see it in discrete manufacturing, process manufacturing, critical infrastructure, oil and gas, food manufacturing. All of these things have the same challenge that I was talking about before, that siloed data. So now you've got a network that can move data very quickly. So why not have a tool that can enable that data for what's next?
This is what I think where all the excitement is here. We're taking all this data, and we're not only sharing its information, we're trying to put it together to insights. And we're not only are we trying to put it together insights that someone can look at afterwards, we're doing it in real time so real action can be taken when it matters. Thank you very much, Jim.
Yeah, appreciate it.